Please. Good morning. iPad.
I, Melcita Agata Bovell, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Member of the Public Service Commission without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And I do so swear. So help me God.
Mr. Ramsey.
I, Chandravati Leader Ramsey, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Member of the Public Service Commission without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And I do swear, so help me God.
Thank you. Mr. Bowen.
I, Janice Isabella Bowen, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Member of the Public Service Commission without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. I do so affirm, so help me God.
Please. Mr. Woodsworth.
I, Mohammed Wulsuran, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, and that I will faithfully execute the office of Member of the Public Service Commission without fear or favor, affection, or ill will, and that in the execution of the function of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and I do so swear. So help me God.
Mr. Prashad.
I, Manuel Prashad, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of member of the Public Service Commission without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and I do so swear. So help me God.
On behalf of His Excellency the President and all who are assembled here, I would like to offer congratulations to the newly appointed members of the Public Service Commission who, subject to paragraph 3 of Article 200 of the Constitution, are appointed for a period of 3 years. But we noted that the chairperson and the deputy chairperson of the commission shall be elected by and from the members of the commission using such consensual mechanism as the Constitution deems fit. Congratulations. His Excellency the President will now offer remarks.
Thank you very much. Please. First of all, allow me to congratulate all the members of the Public Service Commission and to extend my gratitude and thanks to all the stakeholders who participated in the process leading to the appointment based on the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. We have completed this process in keeping with the rule of law and the provisions as established in the Constitution of the Republic of Guyana. I want to point out two members of Cabinet, the Attorney General and the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance, who on my behalf spearheaded the work leading to the appointment. The establishment of a Public Service Commission is mandated by the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Article 135(1) instructs that, and I quote, "There shall be a Public Service Commission." It does not state that there may be, but rather that there shall be a Public Service Commission. The establishment of the public service is therefore not a matter of choice, it is compulsory. The Constitution also prescribes the functions of the Public Service Commission. In accordance with Article 201(1) of the Constitution, the Commission is vested with, and I quote, "the power to make appointments to public offices and to remove and to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting in public office. End of quote. In the direction our country is going, in a massive transformation, transparency, accountability, efficiency, reliance, and credibility of our public sector is very, very important. The reliance on our public sector, the efficiency and reliability and transparency of the public sector is therefore reliant on the persons who constitute the public sector. It is in our benefit as a country and as a people that we not only hold public officers accountable to the requirement of their mandate and the Constitution, but more importantly, very important in this process of transformation, that productivity and delivery becomes an important output of the public service. On the other hand, the government has a responsibility to ensure that we have the most functional public service. And to be functional, you have to have the right skill set, exposure to the right training, the right educational opportunities. And the government has been investing heavily in this direction. The Gold Scholarship Program, training locally and overseas, to ensure that our public service employees are given the right complement of skills in this massively changing economic frontier of Guyana. The public service is also transforming itself based on the technological advancement and requirement of the world today, where electronics, computerization and modernization, technological changes, not only in the pursuit of your job, but in decision making, in control system, is something we cannot avoid. So this Public Service Commission is coming at a time of grand transformation of our country, and at a time in which that transformation requires a shift in the cultural makeup of the public service. What is that cultural shift? The cultural shift is the way we approach our work, the thinking, because there must be structural and monumental changes for us to achieve the type of output that we want to achieve. The government is also moving aggressively on implementing a menu of measures to ensure that our public servants are increasingly having better standard of living and will have better and a more comprehensive remuneration package, not salaries alone, but a package that allows them to enjoy a higher quality of life here in Guyana. The Public Service Commission is thus tasked with making appointments, effecting dismissals, and exercising disciplinary control over public servants. That is the task that's required of you in the setting of the Constitution. But in the exercise of that task, I just shared with you some thoughts on the structural changes that requires a more comprehensive examination of this task within the confines of the description of the task. As complex as that may sound, you have to now navigate your way through these changes. As impartial public service is necessary for the efficient functioning of the public service. Public servants are the backbone of public administration. Without them, the provision of public services would grind to a halt, and execution of government projects would stall. Public servants are also responsible for giving effect to government policies aimed at delivering tangible benefits to citizens. I want us to understand this because sometimes we miss this point. Public servants are tasked to give effect to government policy. And many times, as president, I go on outreaches, and I urge you to join me on these outreaches. So you will hear from the people directly how they feel about the performance of various sections of the public service. So you can have a first-hand understanding of the complexity of the challenge, because policy is as dead without the workers who make it reality. As the good book says, faith without work is dead. So you can have the best policies, but if you don't have the support structure that give effect to those policies, then you will not reap the full benefit of the policy. So it is important that this Public Service Commission understands that in the new world of result-oriented governance and result-oriented policy making, you have to have your own independent analysis as to how those charged with implementing the policies are performing. So, as I said, this transformative development of our country requires transformative development and delivery from our human resource asset. Our economy is now the fastest growing economy of the world. So our public service should be the fastest transitional public service. You can't be the fastest growing and the least efficient, or the fastest growing and the most unreliable. That is the point. The world expects a higher degree of service from us. The population expects a higher degree and a higher level of service from us. And we have to deliver on this. A professional public service is essential in driving this transformation and in ensuring quality and efficient service to our people. As such, Guyana needs to develop a highly professional and competent public service. And I want to say that it is my opinion that we have one of the most talented public service in this region. Talented in skills, talented in educational levels, talented in competence. There is just one area that we need to address as a people, and that is our attitude and our work culture. And not only in the public service, in the private sector too, because of higher level of productivity that is expected of us. Having said that, it is important for us to also understand that our public servants are part of the transformative agenda of the country, going beyond the government now, of the country. And in this transformative agenda, they must see themselves also as being transformed through access to opportunity, through the way in which they're treated. And that is why we have to ensure that we implement modern review mechanism. We still have hierarchical straight line evaluation these days. 360 evaluation is what gives more meaning to the holistic performance of entity and not the performance of individuals. We need to develop greater competition within the system itself so that people become more driven in the public service. We need to ensure that our public servants are kept highly motivated. This is important You know, I always give an example of my own life. Being at finance, in those days when you were called to the office, and the Prime Minister gives his own example too. When you're called to the office of the President, it is a great honor, and you cherish the moment you're called to deliver on a report or to ask to do something. We live in a world today where educational opportunities have become much easier. Many persons acquire a master's by the time they get to 23. But that master does not mean you're the master of everything. That master's degree doesn't mean you've arrived at the position where you are a little god. There is something called experience that comes with qualification. So we have to understand that as a new public service emerges, we do not lose that sense of honor that the system gives, that the system allows. Because the public service is also a very huge incubator of talent. Today, in some segments of the public service, it is so attractive that the private sector is complaining that the public service is stealing employees from them. That is a major complaint that we get now. But this is how evolution of society takes place. There will come a time when jobs in the public service will be highly sought after jobs. And that will increase the competition of persons who are in the public service. That is how societies change. When you change into a service-oriented society, more modern society, these are some of the attributes that comes with such society. Public servants, therefore, must be imbued with the ethic of service and see themselves as true servants of the people, treating them with respect and courtesy, but most of all, providing them with a quality and efficient public service that our country deserves. The people's business must not be held hostage to slothful bureaucracy. Now, many of you know me by now. I don't really hold back what I want to say. I say it. The people's business must not be held hostage to slothful bureaucracy. Any member of the public visiting a public office must be assured of a courteous reception, and that efforts will be made to address and respond to that person's concerns. This is why it is imperative that the public service be staffed by persons committed to the service of the public. Now, I want to also say that in delivering high-quality public service, we are now at the cabinet setting basic standards that public places must have. Minimum standards, like the health centers across the country, must have proper waiting facility, proper washroom facility, proper reception facility, must be well kept, clean. So every single health center will have a minimum standard, and the administrators of those centers will be responsible to keeping those centers at that minimal standard. But more importantly, in addition to the minimal standard, we are now going to set up a central mechanism of monitoring, where in every center or every facility that delivers public service, there will be some numbers there that persons can call in to a national call center and report on the way they were treated or report on how they felt about the service. And that will go against the providers of the service in performance evaluation. That is a system that we're discussing now at Cabinet, so that at every level, people will be held accountable. The government will be held accountable when they go to the polls. Government face the electorate, but those who are charged with implementing policies also must be held accountable. And that is the system we are moving towards. In this regard, the role of the Public Service Commission is not ceremonial. I want to make this very important point. You, the newly sworn-in members of the Commission, are tasked with an important responsibility to ensure that the public service is populated by persons who possess the necessary skills, knowledge, and experience to service the people and to propel the country's development. To propel the country's development. Not to propel members of the Commission development. To propel the country's development. The government of Ghana recognizes and respects the need of an independent and impartial Public Service Commission. The Commission can be assured that there will be no political interference in the discharge of its mandate. The government remains, as always, committed to creating an environment where the Commission can discharge its function without fear or favor. I thank the newly sworn-in members for accepting the responsibility of serving on the Public Service Commission. Your task is weighty, but I'm sure that you will discharge your duties with the same diligence and dedication expected of public officers. I want to extend my congratulations to your family members and urge them to continue to support you in pursuit of national service and in pursuit of the work you're about to embark on. I therefore congratulate you, the newly appointed members of the Public Service Commission. I'm confident that your collective judgment, based on fairness, will help shape a professional and service-oriented public service. Professional and service-oriented public service. Professional and service-oriented public service that will advance our country's development now and in the future. That would advance our country's development, not the president's development. Our country's development. I therefore thank you, wish you well, and God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. President. We now have an opportunity to defend.
Bire mazak wura nagong. Moro wia kok manoro tijik ningai.
We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love.